Hey besties, let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? So many things to unpack on tonight's episode, besties. But one thing I just have to say to Destiny, girl, get out of here with that. This is the kid route that I take to put my son to sleep. Law has to be 5, 6, 7 years old. He is too old for you not to be able to put him to sleep, to not be able to tell him to go to sleep. You ride babies around in a car to put them to sleep, not a little boy. He's not an infant and he's not a toddler. He's a little boy. You can tell him to go to bed and he should be able to go to bed. And Chris, Big Chris, yes, you should have invited Dr. Francis over. Just like how Destiny was out front of y'all house stalking Lance, Dr. Francis didn't have to be in the room with them as loud as nail talks. He could have been outside in his car taking notes and then possibly, meet up with him the next time. But baby, yes. Woo, honey. Let's get into it. Welcome, besties. You are now behind the shade, and thanks for joining me. I recap your favorite reality shows weekly. Now let's kiki and ha ha and get into another episode. Love and Marriage Huntsville season 10, episode 12, Destiny's Manifesto. How would you rate this week's episode, besties? Drop down in the comment section and let me know. It's a thumbs up for me. Now, remember last week I didn't even like the show? So I'm liking this week's, okay? Please like the video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and make sure your notification bell is on so that you know each and every time I post my content. Now, baby, Martell gonna try to gaslight us into thinking that he then printed up these blueprints of this mansion, like he done really got with an architecture, and they done got an architect, and they done got this blueprint down for this 7-bedroom, 7-bathroom home with a swimming pool, honey. I said, Martell be lying. So he meets with Destiny and Chris because they got to go over these blueprints because this is going to be his next home that he's going to build within 8 months. He's going to sell it. And, now that Destiny is in the real estate, they both want the listing. So they meet up for lunch to discuss how he's going to split their commission. Now, what this is giving, because if you sat there and wonder, well, why is he doing Chris Fletcher like that? Chris Fletcher is the man. He's seasoned. He know what he's doing. Destiny needs to take a lesson from him and, woo, woo, woo. But remember, Chris's license is revoked, suspended, pending. Remember, he got his license taken. So maybe maybe he needs Destiny to make his profit. Maybe Martell is helping Chris keep it going. And that kind of makes me wonder, besties, is that why Nell was so furious? Because the money has changed in her in her household because Chris don't have his license. It's been suspended. Huh? What y'all think about that? So anyway, Martell lying about how him and Melody used to have a big old 7-bedroom and a 7-bath home, and they lost it because they had to file bankruptcy when they got divorced. I'm like, I don't remember none of that. I don't remember any of this. Not to say they, I don't know. Melody ain't never said nothing about no big old house that they owned. I just think if they would have had that home, we would have known about it. So, Chris Fletcher has never split a sale before. So he don't really appreciate Destiny being here for the ride, but I think he need Destiny for the ride to get a commission. So they talk about game night, And Chris feels like Destiny didn't have Nell's back because Nell felt ganged up on. Destiny and Nell have been friends for a long time. And, Chris is questioning Destiny's loyalty. Well, Destiny says, she brought back information to both women, Letitia and Nell. So she was trying to diffuse the situation because it was a misunderstanding. But she says she will talk to Nell because she didn't know that this is how Nell felt. Okay. So then they questioned Destiny, about how long you been knowing Will? A few weeks. You like him? Have you been on a date? We went on one date. Oh, yeah. Well, what about Twan? Well, I don't know him that well. We're just friends. Uh-huh. Business meeting. Where we go here? Business meeting. Okay. What about Lance? Oh, that's over. Sorry, Chris. You won't be my father-in-law. Chris don't like you, Destiny. Move along. So Martell says Will ain't the one because he's not a one-woman man. He sounds like he's a hit it or quit it type of guy. And he said it, right? So, he ain't getting nothing. She said, ask Lance. Because Lance didn't get nothing. Okay, but why are you stalking people then? Why are you following people to their mama house if you huh? Don't act like okay. I thought you stalked men. Excuse me. I need some water. I thought you stalked men because you liked their and you had and it was just, oh, you want the old thing back. I never known you to stalk somebody because you didn't do it. That leaves me a little confused. Because I ain't never stalked a dude that I didn't screw. I'm just saying. Okay. Destiny's a strange bird anyway. So Martell says, well, Will ain't the one because he ain't a one-woman man. you know. And so she says, well, I'm not settling. So Martell want to know, well, how you think you going to get a man if you not going to put out? And she said, because I'm going to get me somebody cool, somebody that, well, somebody of quality, not like you, Martell. And it's like, why you got to talk down on Martell? Like, he your friend, right? Shoot. Birds of a, no. So at the Fletcher's home, Nell is working on opening up a boutique called Posh and Prissy. Her grandmother used to call her Prissy all the time when she was little. So Lance comes over and little Chris is back working for Lance for the second time. Chris left the first time because he felt underpaid. Lance feels like little Chris is not qualified to get paid more. Okay. Okay. I don't know. From my experience, business and pleasure don't mix it together. I get you a family business, you trying to help yours, but sometimes you just can't. He quit because he didn't feel like you were paying him enough. So did you give him a raise or is he coming back with the same price point? I got questions. So little Chris put Nell in the middle. He always gonna call her and vent. She said, I don't want to be in the middle. I told him what I felt and I'm out of it. Okay, very good, Nell. Will invites Destiny to go skating outside, not in a skating rink. And it looks like Destiny has not skated in 25, 35 years. Why would you even agree to this? Like she didn't have it. She didn't have her balance. She didn't have her groove. She needed knee pads. I was scared for her. She almost fell. No, ma'am, you too old to be falling on concrete. Come on, Will. Um, it was given that was not his idea. I'm sorry. I just don't think that's no skating with a picnic basket. That don't seem like Will, and I don't even know him. So then they sit down before Destiny break her face, her leg, her back, her knees, and her elbows. So he got the picnic basket with grapes and everything. And so he pulls out a little small basketball. And she's like, "What's that?" And he's like, "My first love. You know, I work a lot. So basketball reminds me to take a break." So he tells her a little bit about himself. So we don't know how old he is, but he's never been married. He's been engaged once. He has 4 children by 4 different women. Did y'all see Destiny's face? They might as well should have packed up that picnic basket and left. Yeah, his youngest is 6. We don't know how old the oldest is. But yeah, she's like, "Well, do you believe in marriage?" And I just really don't think that marriage should be your first, like, that should not come up on the first date. It just should be casual, have fun, ask them about them, but like we're dating first date, marriage is a stretch. I would be turned off on the first date, even the second or the third. Why should marriage come up? Get to know me first. Get to know me. And if you, I'm sorry, but I'm not. Will, okay, he might be early 40s, late 30s, whatever, 4 kids, 4 different women, never been married. It just tells me he's not going to get married. He doesn't want to get married and he ain't going to get married. That's just my thinking. So she asked him, "Do you believe in marriage?" This fool gonna say it exists. Duh. He said, "I see people getting out of it more than going into marriage." Okay, so Will is not the marrying type, but we need to be asking more questions about his personality, his credit score, just stuff. Talk about school and what he like and what make him laugh and what does he like to do. And this is marriage. But I'm like, this is the South, and these girls be wanting to get married. But it's like, Destiny, you've been married already. But I get it, okay. At a certain age, you date to marry, I guess, but that shouldn't come up so soon. That's all I'm saying. Put your stuff out there, but it shouldn't be. "So, what do you think about marriage?" Excuse me. Find out. You should be asking me what my favorite color is. What size shoe do I wear? What do I like? There's so many other things to unpack. Why are you rushing to marriage? Okay. So he ain't the marrying type, but he tells her he's an open book, but he does not offer information. So you're a liar. So she asked him about Martell, saying that he said, he want to hit it and quit it. And so Will says, "It was a joke." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And so he tells her that he and Twan are friends. What's up with them? Because they super close. They go way back. Child, Destiny sitting there like, "Oh, gosh, what?" And I tell y'all, besties, any town that ends in Ville means small, very small area. Here in Oakland, we have a town next door called Emeryville. It's very small. You can drive through it in 3 minutes. Okay, maybe 5, but it's very small. Okay, any ville is small. So, and in those small towns, you're going to have maybe 2 elementary schools, maybe 1 or 2 junior highs, middle school, as y'all call it, and maybe 1 or 2 high schools. It is what it is. Okay. So they're super close. And Will says he knew she was with Lance and Jalen when they rolled the tape back. He was telling the guys that were playing basketball. He was like, "I knew Destiny was with Lance and Jalen." I was like, "Jalen, that was a thing?" With Kimmy's son? Like, I thought they was just flirting, kind of cuckooing. I didn't know that they was, nah. Anyway, and so, he asked her, "How do you know Twan?" And, she runs down her bodyguard, business meeting. That's how she gonna say about him. Bodyguard, business meeting. So Ken, Will, and Martell go play basketball. And, they talk about Destiny. And it's like, yeah, tell Destiny, I heard y'all went on a date. He like, yeah. And so Will said, yeah, and I want to ask you, like, you told her that I want to hit it and quit it. And so Will asked Martell, did I say that? And I'm in the bed looking at, I'm like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. You did. Yes, you did. You said it twice, two different times, in two different ways, but you did say it. And so, yeah, he was like, she told me you told her that. And he was like, that's my girl. I'm going to warn her. You right. And so Will is like, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So that's your girl. Okay. Y'all cool. Y'all cool. Like, okay. Okay. So I got to watch what I say around you. Yeah, you better, blood. You better. And I'm like, look at Martell defending his friend. And so, yeah, it just sounds like Martell ruined it for Will and Destiny. It's a wrap. But he says, Destiny did lie about Twan. And it's like, what? So, he over there talking to Ken. And Ken is just, yeah, she did. Yeah, because, you got, and I wanted to just say so bad, Ken, will you shut up? You are in no position to give out relationship advice to anyone, sir. Okay? Please shut it up. So Will is saying, like, yeah, I asked her about Twan, and she said, oh, he was just my bodyguard. And when I told her that I knew him very well and we were close, her face told him all he needed to know, child. And Destiny's face, she just don't have a poker face at all. So Will says he is not into any quick engagements or quick divorces. It's just like, no, you don't need to say any of that. Just say, I'm not getting married, because Will, you're not. You're going to be that dude that get married in his 60s for the first time. And you're going to marry someone 42 years old. Okay. So he already had talked to Twan about it. And Twan said that they're not dating, but they do things together. And I'm like what? Am I missing something? Y'all went and met once. Did they cut some scenes out? Why did Twan tell Will that? Was he hating? Was he blocking, preventing in his feelings? Don't want to see a player get ahead? Is this a competition? Like what, Twan? What have you and Destiny done besides had that one business meet? Because that's all she telling us. So they said, so how y'all feel? Y'all pretty much feel like, Huntsville is small and you just got to be honest when you date in Huntsville, and may the best man win. So, honey, how did y'all feel not seeing any of the Scotts in this episode? I was like, maybe I like the show when the Scotts are not in it, but I like Marceau as far as entertainment. How can we get Marceau without the other people? He could have went and played basketball with them. But anyway, yeah. No Tisha, no Kimmy, no Wanda, no Maurice. It was good. Maybe the Fletchers can take over. I have an idea. So the Fletchers have family dinner, child, because the Fletchers, the mama and the pa, they want to discuss the boundaries that they haven't set yet from the last time they had a dinner. So they are setting the tables. Nell did not cook this time. She catered the food. And baby, the food looked good. I ain't gonna lie. Yes, I'm not gonna lie. I saw some good old pretty fried golden chicken, salmon, a salad. I saw some cute old looking biscuits over there. Ooh, excuse me. Maybe like some mashed potatoes and a vegetable. I was like, that was a good meal. So Will is inviting Kiara. Nell think it's too soon to be bringing this girl around. And so Mr. Fletcher gonna say, I'm calling him Mr. Fletcher. Chris gonna say, Destiny didn't come over when Lance was dating her. Why do Kiara get to come over? Child. So then they all coming by. So So then we find out Chris Jr. just moved out of the house. He didn't move back in, y'all. And then they said, or he told them he was living in his car for 2 days before he moved in. He slept in a parking lot. And it's giving Tamar Braxton, Ray J vibes, baby of the family, spoiled rotten, need attention. Uh-huh. And so, Nell is kind of like, what? Who, because who want to hear that their baby was sleeping in a car in a parking lot by themselves, all alone? But then he did end up coming over. So Nell was like, yeah, okay, you survived. Okay, whatever. So then Twan shows up, and then Kiera. And it's confirmed that Kiera did go to Nell's daycare 30 years ago. The niece said she was doing something, and she looked at some pictures on the wall, and she looked and she saw Kiera as a little kid. They went to, I guess, the daycare together. So she's telling Kiera, Nell is telling Kiera that she does cook, and they like, ooh, and mama cooked good too. And so Kiera's like, well, I just have to come back and eat. And so Nell was like, oh yeah, I cook, so I get down, honey. And she put her hand up and she said, don't leave mama hanging. And so Kiera was like, oh, I could call you mama. And then Nell was like, Miss Nell is good. And in her confession, I don't see no ring on her finger. There ain't no engagement. She needs to slow down. It's like, girl, you are a Southern belle. All you Southerners want to get married tomorrow. All you Southern girls want marriage tomorrow. Stop it. Just stop it. But Mama Bear, she want to protect her cousin. We know why now. We know why. Because her son ain't ready. He's still borrowing money from her. Okay, so the guys go in the living room and they talk about, because little Chris just had his first baby. Lance just had another kid. So they talking about baby stuff. And little Chris says he puts his daughter first. And he don't make a move until, every move he make, he think about his daughter first. So Chris and Lance tell him how proud of him they are. Yeah. So in the kitchen, the ladies are talking. So Kiera tells the ladies that Destiny was side-eyeing her at game night. And they was like, oh, yeah, we know how that was going to go. And you know how that go, all that banter. So Nell is screaming where Lance can hear her. Yeah, because, me and Destiny, we were friends before they started dating. And I said dating her was going to be a bad idea. So Lance is in there rolling his eyes like, oh, goodness. And yeah. You think she feels some kind of way that I'm over here? And it's like Kiera just eating this up with them biscuits that's on the table. Oh, yeah, I think she is. And so here goes Nell spraying Lance's business. And this is what happens when you are an adult child. You still in your mama's pockets, living in her house, trying to be grown. And she don't see you as an adult. She sees you as a kid. So she treats you like a kid. That's what's going on. So Nell is like, yeah, because Destiny pulled up one night in front of my house. Lance went to go get pizza and he pulled her back up. And she was out there, they was out there talking. See, your mama don't respect you as the man, telling all your business. You see what I'm saying? So Nell thinks Destiny is jealous of Kiera and Lance moving on. Child, okay. She might feel some kind of way, and what we realize is that Destiny was seeking closure. So now Kiera is asking Lance at the table about it, and he can barely eat, child. He dropping his chicken. He can't get it together. He losing his balance, y'all. And little Chris is over there laughing at him, just like a cute little kid. Little old Chris Tamar Ray J over there just cracking up. Yeah, little Chris Tamar Ray J. Yes. He just over there. So Lance said, yeah, he was coming back from getting a pizza. He pulled up in the driveway. Destiny her car was in the streets, and they talked for about 10 minutes, and that was that. What y'all talk about? What you mean? Because 10 minutes is a long time. I'm like, child, Kiera is not playing, honey. She ain't playing about herself. She gonna say what she needs to say. You not finna run game on Kiera. You not finna waste her time. You like her, you trying to date her, she gonna let you know where she's standing, what she thinking. And if you ain't no stand-up guy, you ain't for her. And Lance, I don't think you a stand-up guy because you doing just what you did to Destiny. You just like Will. Remember when Will said, what did he say about keeping it? I'm an open book, but I don't offer information. That's exactly how Lance is. He didn't offer to tell Destiny that he had a baby on the way, and then they want to pretend like they all didn't know until the baby got. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Okay. So she got questions, right? Uh-huh. So he's like, well, I'm a gentleman. So, we talk, she cool. We had our closure, she cool. Remember though, we were friends first, Kiera. So don't come over here with that drama. That's my homie. I'm not gonna be walking around here not talking to her and avoiding her. I'm not mad at her. She cool. And I'm with you. So keep it moving. Okay. Denise over there looking like, honey, she ain't buying none of this. None of it. Okay. So Nell says, well, she says she don't like you, but then, y'all do have some chemistry. I'm like, Nell, what are you saying? And why are you saying it? Nell, shut up. I'm like, oh my goodness. So Lance is like, oh, now he got to keep talking. He was done talking, but Nell is trying to bring more out of it. Because I guess she's trying to run Kiera off. So he like, okay, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Yes, me and Destiny have chemistry. And Nell say, oh yeah, and she be flirting with you still. It's like, Nell. But see, this is what happens when you're trying to be an adult and you trying to be grown and you dating and having babies and you still borrowing money from your mama. She don't see you as a man and she can't respect you as one because you are still an adult child. And so Kiera like, well, I hope you ain't flirting. No, I don't get down like that. Child. Well, you was flirting with this kid's mama. Because where is the mama? And I don't know. It just seemed like Kiera is the mother. I don't know, but maybe not. But it's just like, we need more information. Like, Lance, who is the baby's mom? Do we know her? Has she spoken? She has spoken out. Wait a minute. She did speak out, right? And the storyline about him being a single father is fake, right? And Kiera might be a fake storyline. Oh, whatever. So then the niece, she says, and she looks different. She looks better. Y'all agree? Maybe she lost some weight, got her makeup done better, a better wig. She looked different. She looked better, more cleaned up, more demure. So anyway, she gonna say Destiny needs to stay single so she can flock on whoever she wants. First of all, who said she wasn't single? She is single. You're single until you're married. Why are you so pressed about what Destiny doing? Stay out of Destiny's business. She can date who she wants. She can like who she wants. Stay out of worry about yourself. Ooh. So now, well, he go now. Well, I don't know. Like, I don't know who Twan dating. Twan, who you dating? And he like, yeah, we dated. She cool. Y'all dated. Well, we went on a business meeting, business meeting. Security guard. Oh, she paying you? Well, yeah, I hope she will if she hires me. Yeah. So little Chris is like, oh, she like Lance, Twan, and Will. He like, oh God, it's too much. It's too much. So then here go Kiera, and you're next. Okay, Kiera. Kiera is interviewing for her job, honey. She want to throw confetti in the next intro, honey. She wants to be. She could be right in front of Martell. Just kidding, but I'm like, okay, maybe Destiny can move away. She can leave. Like, we don't need Destiny. She can leave. She want to date. Huntsville too small. She can't like two people at once without everybody knowing. Everybody talking about her. Well, I don't know why she ain't flocking with nobody. Yeah. And we can bring Kiara in. Let's bring Lance in and Kiara in. Maybe no, we got to finish listening to Trish Hill, huh? I don't know. Let's bring Lance and Kiara in. What y'all think? So she was like, well, so Twan said, well, I told Will, because they talking about, they speaking of Will, like, oh well, she messing with Will. And so Twan was like, yeah, we talked, like, well, we all single. I told her to do what he gotta do. Cause I'm not dating. I keep telling y'all, I'm not dating nobody. I'm chilling. So Kiara gonna look at Lance and say, birds of a feather flock together. So I just want to make sure we ain't just chilling. So Lance gonna tell Kiara, we ain't, we heating. Yeah. We heating, we're heating. And so the girl's like, oh, Lance, that was so romantic. And Chris gonna say, that was so lame. I'm like, I agree. We heating. And so here go now. You said when I was at your house, you told me you wasn't ready to date, but you're dating. Look, there she goes, sitting right here at the table prematurely. We ain't ready for this. You ain't ready for this. But here she is sitting here eating my chicken and my salmon. So Lance is like, yes, but we're not exclusive and I'm not seeing anyone else. I'm busy. I'm a busy man. I have a business that I'm trying to run. I'm a single dad and I fit Kiara in. And being that you wanted the family to get together and you were cooking or you were catering, I felt that this was a cheap way to take Kiara out. So I invited her over so we can eat on your dime, Mom. Kiara's like, just make sure you ask me to be your girlfriend. She was like, don't be over here claiming me and playing like you my boyfriend. Be sure to ask me. Until then, I'm going to be dating like Destiny. So, hey, don't be mad if I show up next time with Twan. She didn't say that. That's me, y'all. So Nell is like, she needs to pump her brakes. And it's like, girl, and then Chris is saying how, Lance's choices are very interesting lately, and he don't like them, of course. So Chris looks at little Chris and said, well, Blood, why was you sleeping in your car for 2 days? You didn't want to call? Like, why you didn't call? So little Chris, Tamar J, is saying, like, because y'all love us so much, y'all hold us back. And he was like, it's simple. He don't want to hear y'all mouth. He wants to figure his life out on his own so he can be proud and be okay with his decisions. He said, y'all be doing too much. And that was a real thing. That was a good, it almost seemed like little Chris has got some therapy, talking his problems out to maybe other siblings or friends or, maybe the baby mama or something. It seems like there's some growth happening with him, growing pain, right? And it comes with, falling out with the girl. You got to leave. She put you out. You got to go move your stuff to your mama's, but you need to clear your head. And you go sleep in your car so you can figure things out. Thank God he was safe and sound because life is just weird. How can you sleep just thank God he was safe. And so those were some very real points. And too bad they didn't hear it. Chris heard you're spoiled and you're entitled, which is true, but he's trying to grow up out of it. And there you go, doing too much, running your mouth, not listening to him. He wants to pull back from y'all so he can figure out his life. He's trying to be an adult. He's a little premature, and we're going to get on that in a minute. So, but not Nell. Nell don't want to pull back. She was like, well, wait a minute. You saying that I didn't pull back or I should pull back? Oh, no, not when it comes to my son, may, end up in prison. No woman, no mother wants that. So little Chris is like, he wanted to figure his life out for himself. Nell, are you listening to him? He don't want y'all holding stuff over his head like you been doing. The last dinner, you brought up the dog and you brought up him going to jail. He still went to jail. So what are you preventing him from going to prison? He went to jail. That's how you took the dog and it cost $30,000 and you want your money back. You're trying to open up a boutique. I get it. But, take accountability. You should be like, that's good, son. And it's hard to hear it, I guess, that y'all like to help and then you want to talk to them all any old kind of way. They don't like that. And so now Chris and Nell getting ready to go back and forth and back again. And so Nell is like, well, what are you talking about? The obligation to help our children, Chris tells her. And so then Nell is like, they're not children. And so Chris is like, well, they're still our children. So then Lance tries to explain to Nell what they're saying and what she's not hearing, but she just continues to amp herself up. Now she feels like Lance is defending Chris. And now this man got to live here with me 38 years and he needs to know it. He need to speak for himself. Because now she says she signed with little Chris. How are you signing with little Chris? With little Chris, Tamar Braxton Draje, he ain't siding. He don't want you to side with him. You're not even hearing him. You siding with him. That's the problem. He don't want you to. He trying to stand up to the both of you. You and your husband. So now she's telling Chris that he needs to defend himself and not have Lance defending him. And Chris is like, what do I need to be defended? I'm telling the truth. Y'all be stressing me out. She hollering and screaming. They run to me first. They want me to put out all their fires. And then you put them out. You put the fires out, Nell. That's the problem. So then she want to talk to Chris about these boundaries. She don't know what the boundaries are. He like, no, you do. We got to keep it up. They don't know our boundaries. Well, when you gonna tell them, Chris? Because you got plenty of time since you can't sell property. And that's probably where all this stress and this pile on is coming from with Nell. Lance said that they talked about finances the last time. Come to find out, he still owes them a whole bunch of money. Nell is crying because she's saying, her and Chris are getting older and they want to do other things. They can't because they're not paying her back. And she wants her money back. She just helped Lance out not too long ago. She airing his business out in front of Kiera. That's why she feel like Kiera, this shouldn't even be happening. Because how is you broke and trying to date, Lance? You got a lot of nerves to be trying to date, and you can't afford it. Well, Kiera, now you know Lance is broke and he's spoiled. He's a mama's boy, and girl, you need to run. And Nell goes off like she's supposed to, like she always do. And I was thinking, Bessie, I said, child, with her and Wanda get together, honey, Nell gonna light Wanda's A up. Do you hear me? All this pile on Nell got going on. These kids owe her tons of money. And the thing is, these are grown kids. Their problems are not $100 and $200. Little Chris went to jail, lost that dog, and she had to do all this. That was $30,000. Ain't no telling how much Lance just borrowed. He's older, got bigger problems, got kids, a business. These grown-ups got grown-up problems, and these problems cost a lot of money. But Nell, you are at fault. You spoiled these kids. Now they spoiled adults. They don't know how to fend for themselves. They don't know how to pivot through life. They don't know how to survive. They got you. They don't have to worry about ever growing up because you always there. And now you falling apart because you want your money back and you can't because you have not taught these kids how to be adults. You haven't taught them. So all I got to say, Bestie, is stop spoiling your kids. Let them work for things. Where did we get off? Because I'm not too much younger than Nell. Me and Nell in the same generation. Our parents didn't spoil us. Where did my generation get where they need to overcompensate and spoil their kids? Why are you spoiling these children? You're preparing. You have 18 years to prepare this child to become a functioning adult. When do you think it's time to start training them to be an adult? Not at 18, 19, or 25. You have to train them as teenagers, as young kids. You have to give children responsibilities a little at a time, more and more. Give them more to do, chores. You have to build their trust. You need to be able to trust them, to be responsible, to see things through. You can't run to their beck and call every time they mess something up. You there to fix it. Now you mad because you still doing it 30 years later and you can't retire. You want to. Your body breaking down. You've been doing daycare for 30 plus years. Now your husband is messing up with his career and can't make no money. The pile on is piling on. Now you're on this reality show to compensate for income and you got to argue, fuss, and fight with everybody. Nell is going to mess around and lose it. And, and then your health comes into play. Stop spoiling these kids just because they want the Jordans. Why are you buying them? Do they deserve it? Are they getting the grades? Do they clean up? Do they do what you say the first time you say it? Or are they just laying around doing whatever they want to do, running your household on social media and playing video games all day, and you out here busting your butt, working 2 and 3 jobs, trying to overcompensate for whatever, the missing parent in the house, or my parents didn't do it like that. When do you stop spoiling your child? Don't be like Nell. There's no way out. Because these are adults. When they mess up, it's a high consequence. Prison might be in effect. Homelessness, gotta come back. And then why do you have this big old home? The first problem is that house is too big. The kids go run in and out for their whole entire life. The baby just moved out again. They need to get a smaller, like a little 2-bedroom, I ain't gonna lie, a 1-bedroom condo is what they need to get. And that will help all these kids grow up. And I guess the girls got it going on because they ain't never in trouble. They don't ever borrow money, I guess. They doing what they got to do. But baby, spoiling kids, okay, spoiled kids will be spoiled adults. I'm going to get off of here because I don't even care. It's so much more to say, and I ain't finna get into all that because y'all didn't come here for that. But Nell, baby, you need to stop loaning out. Say no. Say no. Let them figure out how to take care of stuff. Things will get done. Trust me. I do it. They call, you teach them. You teach them, say no. They'll stop asking. You say no once or twice, they will figure it out. Whew, besties. I'm gonna get off of here, child. I went on for too long. Don't forget to share the video, comment, like, subscribe, notification bell. And I'll be back with another recap. It will be Real Housewives of Potomac. Bye, besties.